Yeah, just before our... It's an exercise.
What's that?
Listen,
What are the rules?
I don't know, something.
Liver up, double
You
tap.
live on YouTube and Facebook. IG is still working on it.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Good morning.
Yeah.
IG's good.
IG's on now too. So hello, everyone. Again, all of the everyones.
Every of the every.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're on day 2 of our Rare Finds and Oddities sale. I know the gist of how it works, but why don't you just go ahead?
Yeah. So this is the second and final day of the sale and event. Batches started dropping at 8 a.m. and one just went live like a second before we went live on a stream. And we'll have more batches every other hour. So the next one's going to be noon, then 2, and then 4, and then everything's out until tomorrow morning when we put everything that hasn't sold back in the vault until April, which will be our next Rare Finds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And so David is with me here today. Yesterday we had Will at both streams. Today it'll be David in the morning, and then Emily will be with me this afternoon at 3. And they're going like hotcakes.
Yeah, it's moving pretty fast. I mean, Rare Finds always sort of gets that excitement because it's like random weird stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like it's or things that are on a deep discount. The Rare Finds and the Oddities, it means something, right? Rare Finds meaning like our prototypes or something that is otherwise like not available right now, like or hasn't been available for several years or something like that. It's an old sample that we found or something like that. And Oddities is our kind way of saying seconds.
Yeah.
Other places might call them seconds, or might send them to Marshalls or something like that.
Right.
But for us, an oddity is just something that has some sort of damage or stain or otherwise is not perfect. Sometimes it's as little as like missing a little hang loop on the neck, so you
Yeah.
can't hang it on a hook. But like that's not a big thing, but it doesn't fit our standards, so it doesn't go into our everyday. Like it doesn't meet all the other ones that came in that production run. So it doesn't match. It doesn't go on sale there, but it can find a new life here on discount.
Absolutely. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. If you missed yesterday's live streams with the oddities, like David's saying, it can be as big as a visible stain or as small as, I know we have a Virgil here with just barely any embroidery missing. So you can't even tell unless you like really are looking for it. So we're discounting this. We're not going to throw it in a landfill. We want a home, but of course we're not going to sell it to you at full price like the rest of the run because it doesn't pass our very thorough QC.
Yeah, that one I would call battle ready. It's already taken some damage, so you can go ahead and go ham on it, and like push it further down that line. Like since it's already got a little bit of damage, it's like, you might as well just make it into a real thing that you could that looks totally beat up and like you've been in fights.
Sometimes it's better if you have like that, not buyer's remorse, but like you have this nice thing, you've made the investment to get something really nice that you want, and you don't want to take it anywhere for fear of damaging it. So it's like, okay, it's gonna hang up in my closet forever. So if it's battle ready, you're like, okay, it's got a little, we're ready to go.
The first scratch on a new car is the worst one. After that, it's like, well, screw it, it's already happened. Just driving through that snow drift, no problem. So yeah, that is sort of the idea. I'm wearing, would I call this a rare find? No, I would call this an oddity. We have a few of these. We accidentally cut the fabrics flipped, so we can't sell these as official Star Trek jackets, but they do have a handful of them that are Star Trek inspired.
Yeah, quite.
The cut is very similar to our, this was supposed to be a restock of the 2364 jacket. And we had our paperwork messed up, and somehow we didn't catch it. With this jacket, interestingly enough, the black and the accent color are about equal in terms of how much material they use. So we didn't run out of material faster or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's 50% black and 50% accent color.
Yeah.
Almost exactly. I think it takes 0.75 and 0.73 yards of each on average per jacket. So it's like, we didn't know.
Right.
Like it didn't come like, oh, we ran out of red. Like,
right. Yeah.
was like, this doesn't look like your sample, but we've already made 20 of them. I was like, okay, well, stop making the rest of them and send those to us. And honestly, when we got them, we were like, you know, actually, these look pretty sick. This is a pretty cool way of having a Star Trek jacket. I really like them. So
It looks a little less Trek and more kind of just cool black jacket with red accents.
yeah.
So
It still, I mean, it obviously still has the angle there,
Yep.
which feels, you know, still has a Star Trek feeling, but it's a little less explicit.
yeah, we're calling it the Mirror Universe.
Yeah, which hurt me. The only, well, this is maybe one of two real Trekkies in this company. It hurt me to call it the Mirror Universe because that's not true, because the Starfleet doesn't exist in the Mirror Universe, and it's the Terran Empire, and it's a totally different thing, and they don't have this uniform. It's not accurate, but you know what? It doesn't matter.
It sounds like it does matter.
It doesn't matter. It's an oddity. It's not accurate. Not official. It doesn't have to be the most right naming either.
We'll be okay.
I know. I stay out of all. I let it go. Willow talked about this yesterday. I heard it from my office. She was talking about how I like to hold on to stuff. Like I have a sentimental. I'm just like, and she's like, do we really need this? And I have to go. If you take it away from me when I'm not looking, I will probably never know it's gone.
That's fair.
And that's how I treat rare finds usually.
just don't let me know.
Just take it away. It's exciting to me because it is unique, but it will be more exciting to somebody else who actually looks at it on a regular basis.
I think that's the struggle of a creative too, where like I paint. That's my creative endeavor. I sometimes do photography, mostly the paintings. I know I want to sell them.
Yeah.
But when it comes time to putting them online, I'm like, I don't know if I want to. Do I actually have to part with this? Like, this is my baby.
I want to look at this for a few more months.
In
my closet or in my portfolio.
Yeah, I want to dig it up 10 years later for the nostalgia, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, now I'm taking a picture of it, it's not quite the same. Because you look at the picture 10 years later, you're like, man, I wish I could really study my own brush strokes.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Oh, yeah. So Rare Finds is really just Willow telling you to clean your closet.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Not
especially
actually,
the rare finds, but a little bit.
A little bit.
My work closet.
Yes. Not your home closet.
No.
This isn't a thrift store.
No, those are I take the ones that I really want home, and then I also have a stash of things that I will never let go of.
Yeah. Oh, clearly.
There's a few things in here that, you know, like the weird thing about rare finds for me is like I feel like we should care more about posterity. Like as a design company, like theoretically, if we were, you know, if 100 years down the line, like we're 10 years into this, 11 years into this company, like on our 100th anniversary, shouldn't we have some of those like first 10 years, like original prototypes, maybe? But also, who cares about posterity? It's just gonna sit there and it's gonna rot. Like
It's kind of like the wedding dress effect, where it's like you hold on to it. I'm guilty of this. It's in my closet. I'm never wearing it again. I don't have children. It's not going on to anybody else. It's gonna go somewhere.
Yep.
So it's like, how much of that do you actually?
Yeah, it's funny. Willow did not worry about that effect at all. That's Willow's. That's her thing. She's just like, I don't need this. It's taking up space.
Yeah.
So let's get rid of it.
Yeah, that is fair too.
Someone asked, where do you get your boots?
My boots. Well, I wear these shoes almost every day. These are my Nobles. I like, for how complex I love to make clothing and jackets, I like really simple shoes. I like some, I mean, it's Noble because there's nothing extra in my mind. Like, that's probably why they named it that. I don't know.
Probably.
Anyway, so I really like these, especially because they're high tops, which means that I can wear them untied, but I still have enough sort of support in the foot section,
Right.
and then I can just slip them off when I need to, which I discovered in Japan when we were visiting in Japan because I needed to take my shoes off all the time, and I was just like, you know, screw this, I'll try and wear them untied so that I don't have to tie them all the time, and that worked, and I liked it. But otherwise, almost all of my boots are Doc Martens.
Makes sense.
almost every single pair of boots that I own are Doc Martens.
Classic though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have, I've had lots of boots over the years.
Yeah. That's a mood.
Yeah.
I've always stuck with the combat short style,
Uh-huh.
if I can, or I have a couple thrift store knee-high boots. Just depends on the mood. Depends
Yeah.
on the vibe.
I wish
Depends on the boots.
I wish Docs made men's boots that came up to the calf.
Yeah.
They do have. I've got my tall boots. My tall Docs are women's boots, but they look exactly the same. They just make them a different size scale.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
happened to be right in the middle, so it works for both. But yeah, if the 10-inch shaft is good, but I wouldn't mind a 13-inch, like straight up to the bottom of the knee. That'd be really cool.
In the winter especially.
Yeah.
That's why I wear my boots a lot in the winter. Like, this is comfortable.
Yeah.
This is great.
Docs always, especially for conventions, are like they're top tier in terms of like you still get the badass look and you can stand in them for 8 hours straight.
And if you're starting to get old, like some of us here, Dr. Schultz.
Yeah. Just double up on the dock.
Always.
Yeah.
Doc. But we're here for rare finds.
Yes,
Looking
we are.
back,
Yeah, looking back
we
to
go
what
on
we-
tangents, so.
Well, we're
please-
here for an hour, right?
We're here for an hour, that's
a
true.
lot of time.
That's true.
It has been the conversation in our Discord has been really fun.
Yeah.
You were talking about this morning, like
Mhm.
you hadn't been here for a rare finds yet
Right.
because you're relatively new to the company. What are you noticing about how people are sort of taking on rare finds?
There's this like spoken camaraderie, words are hard, happening amongst like all the Vanguard, which I think is really cool. Folks are looking out for each other. They're going by like dibs rules. Like if you call dibs, they
More or less will follow.
yeah, they're like the Valkyries, like y'all are so respectful of like, nope, it's like the bro code, like
Yep.
nope, hands off, that's mine. And it's just, it's a spectacle to see. It's not just us standing here twice a day and then selling the items. It's really kind of a community event on top of that, which I think is super cool. It gets us to learn more what you guys like too. I've heard that people want petitions for the June in purple. I've heard people want more of the rainbow vests, stuff in general. So it's really cool seeing both what people are loving to see and also kind of that like nice togetherness of the community, especially around the holidays.
Someone's asking if it would be possible to show the block jacket prototype.
Block jacket prototype. Which one?
That's it's basically a Vanguard jacket.
It might not be on those racks.
These are actually most everything.
It's just like a straight black jacket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Found it. Yeah.
Yeah.
When was that one made?
5 years ago,
A while
probably. This was when I decided maybe I shouldn't have to do all the work every time I design a new jacket. And I was like, what if I just made a jacket that was like, this is our pattern that we use for everything, for the basic shape, and then we can change, hem shape, and we can, I can put in new details and put in pockets and all this stuff. So this is this is basically the quintessential women's 35 jacket.
The OG, if you will.
Yeah, this is like the Vanguard jacket, the Vanguard products kind of are, they have some special details to them, but they're very minimal. But most of that is just like, this is the cut. This is the Volante cut, and this is what that's based on. It's the original one. So we've made some changes to it since then, but primarily, like for the most part, this will fit like any 35 should. Prior to this, I would draft a new pattern, or I would copy and paste from an old pattern and have to redo something, But the nice thing, our block pattern, it's a file on my computer. It has all of the sizes in it, and I can work off of that as a basic thing. I've expanded beyond that now. I now have a block for shirts, and I have a block for pants, which we haven't really gotten into much. And then like a long coat version is slightly different because the long coats tend to be a little bit bigger in their base size.
Yep.
So So that's the idea. That's what the block jacket is.
I like it too. This one has like a unique lining.
Yeah, this is before we started using our stretch lining. We used to use this herringbone lining. The only reason we moved to the stretch lining is because this, as nice as this is, has a little bit of a higher like friction quotient.
Gotcha.
So it gets, I wouldn't say it gets stuck on your clothes, but it's less like, it feels a little bit more restrictive
Gotcha.
than our, but we used it for 5 years before we changed over, so
Yeah.
it's really solid. I just found something that was easier to get all the time and came in different colors.
I like the nice origin story of some of the other
Yeah.
jackets.
I got a few questions. First one is, I've been waiting for the 43M Red Tengu to be in stock. Any more plans to make them anytime soon? I
Yes.
believe in March next
Yeah.
year.
Yes, they are coming back. The restock is coming.
Yep,
Mhm.
in red.
In red.
I don't think we're doing any of the other colors. I think we're just doing red.
I believe it's just red.
Red by and large, like it, by miles was more exciting for people than the
Yeah.
black one.
And then specifically a question for you, David. Any further plans on a Moon Knight inspired run?
They are on the Moon Knight this
Yeah,
week.
we really piqued some interest with that. That vest, I made that so long ago. I want to say I made that in 2016.
Oh wow, that was a long time
Yeah,
ago.
and it's been sitting here. It was on my never sell rack, but really the never sell rack, it's always up for debate again. It's always up for reevaluation. I will say no. I'm going to say no. We're not going to do it. I think we're going to generally steer clear of too Disney stuff and the superhero stuff. Star Wars is one thing because it's not. It's easy to be less explicit about it, and there is a little bit more wiggle room. But if it's like clearly, I don't know, the superhero stuff hasn't always done that great for us.
There was a question that kind of is a tangent on that from the Discord that I'm remembering. So our platinum tier members can get customs.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever consider doing one of those as a custom for someone?
Yeah, we could do it. I mean, it is. Really, it's a beast hunter without sleeves and with a special detail on the back. That's really the only difference. So we can get there. That pattern exists. Yes, we could do that with platinum.
Someone asked, what does 35W translate to in general sizing?
I just did a forum about this. In general sizing, meaning small, medium, large, I think 35. On average, people who would buy a 35 would buy a small. That's right.
That sounds right.
Yeah, but I mean, I would definitely say check the measurement chart. But a 35 is, I mean, it's a women's cut. That's what the W stands for.
And if you don't know too, I'll promote on our site with every single item. We do have that measurement chart. It'll say what's my size. You can click there. It'll show you a calculator. You can enter in your measurements. If you don't know how to do that, we have recently released a nice little video with David showing you how to measure properly. Because I know sometimes that's a little scary for people new to measuring themselves. So go check it out.
Yeah. The short answer is if you take a piece of string, or if you don't have a measuring tape, you just take a piece of string. You know, figure out how long a piece of string is that goes around your chest and your waist, and then measure that on a ruler. You can cut it so you have, this is the length. And then just get a straight, something straight that you can measure against.
Cool. Do we want to show some folks some
Yeah.
of the finds we have? So I've clocked out, up until recently, I have clocked out everything that was sold yesterday and some stuff that was sold this morning.
Great.
So that is gone. So this is all things that you might have seen yesterday, but overall it is still up for grabs either at this moment or later today.
Cool.
So maybe we can pluck some and talk about it. I mean, these ones are still going to be fun to me. Is the smuggler
The
vest.
specials, yeah.
The special smuggler vest. We have one in Victorian fog, and I forgot what this one is called. Forger.
Forager. Okay.
So these ones,
We wrote that. Yeah, great.
47 men's for both of them.
Yeah.
Very neat. I still, for some reason, this is giving me very woodsy vibes.
Yeah.
So I kind of really like it in that way. Like it has that very soft brown, very kind of like soft hunter green.
Mm-hmm.
Feels nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then Victorian fog is classic.
It's classy.
Yeah.
It's classic. It's classy.
Did we sell the other Bolero?
We sold this is the last Bolero left.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
one left. I think
Yep.
there was two sold
Yep,
this
there
morning.
were 3 and 2 have been gone, so there's the gray one. I don't know if it's probably easier to see on the website when it comes out. These are
We're
like
gonna move up
little
here, maybe.
diamond patterns.
Can we do?
Yeah. See if it gets too blurry.
Yeah, this little like star diamonds they're 4-pointed stars. They're kind of irregular. They're irregular distance away from each other, so it's kind of you get this starry night vibe to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this material is super cool. I think Willow and I were at a fabric store and we were just like, well, there's 3 yards of that. Let's buy it. We'll find something to do
Yeah.
with it. There's a lot of that over there. But this one, yeah, this material is like, we can't do production with it. So
No.
we just made a couple of them
Yeah.
for funsies.
So literally this is like peak definition of a rare find.
Yeah,
We will not make this again.
no.
So it is
We just make things, sometimes we just make things to see how the material looks and what we, even if we can't get that specific material again, we might look for something similar and it gives us like an idea of what we could do with a product.
yeah.
Um,
I think something really cool too, and I know we can't make everybody's requests. It's not like we can just go through and every time someone wants something, we make it. However, it is really cool to see what people like and kind of what trends people are sticking with, what things are sticking out to people.
This is this one is cool because it is one of the few remaining, maybe the only remaining, that has this nice little print on the inside of the lining,
Ooh.
which is a very subtle little mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing particular unless you know.
Yeah. Just a nice little rune to give you that extra little bit of strength on your hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're born in blood or something.
Yeah,
of the
right.
sort.
Fighting against generally bloodborne things,
Yeah.
but
But not.
No.
I don't think these are in stock anywhere right now.
No, I think we're not making these 2 colors again.
So literally the last of its life.
Yeah. We're making the command color again.
Yep.
But these ones didn't really show up as much in the series, and the command is, I mean, usually with our Star Trek stuff, command sells better than all the others, but
Right.
there's interesting data around that too. Like our sciences in the women's cut tends to sell better than operations, and but command is still there. I think they're similar. I've always been interested in the like what sells, especially because it does change a little bit between Star Trek series.
Sure.
And despite the fact that Star Trek is theoretically Starfleet is a science-oriented
Right.
thing, there are very few characters that actually wear science's like division colors in the actual show. Voyager, there's only one character.
Yep.
Next Gen, there's only one primary character that wears blue until later seasons when Deanna finally puts on a uniform. Then they're both wearing blue, the medical and but like that's it. Everybody else is wearing red or gold. However, blue sells much better as a product than gold generally.
Yeah. I wonder if some of that, there's probably like a twofold where one is like aesthetics,
Yeah.
where people are like, even though they
The
like.
blue looks nice no matter what.
Exactly. And then another, I think, is like that faction loyalty. Like for millennials, I think for a while it was like, are you a Ravenclaw? Are you
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Hufflepuff? Like, and so like there's kind of that faction loyalty where if you see yourself as those characters.
Despite the fact that there's only one real Ravenclaw in the entire series that has any
We're
like,
not
screen
gonna talk
time,
about
like,
that.
and Hufflepuff basically doesn't have any screen time, but people are still like, that's the one I associate with. Yeah, I think there's a lot of that.
It was Robert Pattinson. He was
Yes.
also Puff.
That's right. You're right. And look what happened to him.
Not too soon.
Not too soon. It's definitely the statute of limitations has passed on that one.
Yeah.
I think with Star Trek, it's like the show is ostensibly about scientific discovery, and so that's what excites the people who watch it. But it is not. Those aren't the characters that are actually in the show. But like, so when you identify with Star Trek, you're probably going to be into science in some way or other. So you're going to be like, yeah, this is my division. Like, some engineering maybe, but command always the call to the seat.
Yeah.
Command is very strong.
Someone asked, any plans to make a jacket with tons of pockets for us that need a fire-resistant jacket in the workshop?
I think I saw a question about a shop jacket. It is kind of against my aesthetic. It's not impossible. Now that we've switched the Star Warrior collection to be called the Off-World collection, I have a different view of what that means. And there is a lot more sort of futuristic utilitarian aspect to it. So there is a possibility that I would add more pockets and do like that kind of utility product. But I really like a sleek jacket.
Yeah. I'd say the Rebels, we said this yesterday.
Yeah, that has some extra pockets.
That one's probably the closest
Yeah.
vibe. Now, fire resistant? No.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll ever happen.
Yeah, fire resistant, meaning it's not treated, it's not fire resistant treated, but most of our products are 100% cotton, so they do have that aspect to them. The treatment aspect is something that I don't know enough about. It's a little bit like when people ask if I'm going to make a jacket that has motorcycle armor in it, and I'm like, I don't want to take your life in my hands. It's not quite to that level because a fire-resistant jacket probably also requires all sorts of testing and sort of regulation that we have to go through. So it's a little bit like we can't make kids' clothes because I don't want to go through the process of labeling and all of that stuff. There is a different thing, and if you're going to make like sub 3, that's why I think a lot of toys are like 3+, even if it is just one piece of plastic that's this big. They're like 3+ only. You can't play with this if you're less than 3. It's because of regulations.
Oh, they're tough.
It's because it's a lot easier to sell to just take a product to market that is for children as opposed to toddlers or babies. And children's clothes, like they got to be close fitting.
I was gonna say, and most of the time you put them in the clothes, and then a day later they're triple the size, and it's like, well, that was just a waste of money.
It slows down. They're already up. Our boys are slowing down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could theoretically make a jacket for them now. But there's thing you have to theoretically, children's clothing should be really close fitting because otherwise it's a fire hazard.
Sure.
Because like loose clothing can just catch on fire spontaneously, apparently, or something. No, I understand the logic behind it.
I get it.
But if that's true, I'm screwed.
So don't become a firefighter. And you're good.
Liar, pants on fire. That's my problem.
Speaking of pants,
Yeah.
I have a segue.
Did we find a pair of pants?
I found a pair of pants, and I'm gonna go grab them. They're behind here. Everybody was asking for pants yesterday.
Yeah, we generally have not been selling our pants, even on Rare Finds, because we are in communications with various factories, and it is easier if we have a sample to send to the factory. But I guess this got through our Emily and my grasp.
Got thrown in. So it was, hey, there was some.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. It's a 2X. Black with red detailing, it looks like.
Yeah.
What pants were these? What was
These are the Kage
These are
pants.
the Kage pants?
Yeah. And they're more, I feel like they're more costumey, but they're not. Like people don't seem to take them that way.
Kind of dances on that line.
Yeah.
I think like some of our pieces do that too, where it's like it's like the Kenway.
Yeah.
You're dancing on that line of like you could push it over the edge and go pure costume, or you could wear this every day and kind of just like play it up.
Yeah. when I was making the Secco pants, when I was developing the Secco pants, I was like, I have a clear idea of what this is going to be, and I think it's totally wearable. Like it fits within like a somewhat known style of pant. And then while I was working on that, I was like, what if I just pushed that? And that was where the Kage pants. I just took the same pattern and like blew it up in a different direction.
Yep.
And I made them just for fun. And as soon as I put them on, I was like, we're making 2 pairs of pants now. We're making 2 styles. We had originally only planned on developing 1 pair of pants in that process, and then testing them and going through a slower process. As soon as I made this, it was like, oh yeah, no, these are sick. This is cool. We can't do just one of these. We must make all of them.
And Willow already spoke to me yesterday. Of course, we are making more pants.
We're making more pants. There's actually there's pants in production right now, and then 2 pairs of pants in the product development phase.
Got another question. If there is something that you wanted to grab off the rack and hide from us to keep forever, that had to be dragged away from you kicking and screaming, what is it?
That's already here, or yeah. Well, that's a good question. What did you sneak in here that I?
Don't ask him that. Don't ask him that.
On the spot.
I know which one I would choose if it fit me.
Oh yeah. What's your?
I'm gonna.
You take that.
I just
that
love
Garris?
the black Garris.
Yeah.
It is. Everyone's been gunning for this, and I can see why.
It's probably gone already. It went up at 10 o'clock.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably gone. So whoever purchased or purchasing this, congratulations, because it was beautiful.
This, I don't know. I know you guys talked about it yesterday, but there's a little bit more context. This is the prototype. And I had originally envisioned the Garris as a 3-color product, so that's why the gray and the white is here.
Yep.
And these were materials we had on hand.
Perfect.
And it never hurts to make something in black. So prototype was in black and with gray, and this is sort of, all of this aspect is designed based on Garris's armor.
Yep.
Underneath that, he's got like this black bodysuit thing, but there's like armor plating, so that was where the gray panels come in. And we ended up going with a 2-color palette, just the like bright accents with the main body 1 color. Just felt a little more streamlined.
Yeah.
But this is really cool. But it's like, yeah, we have to figure out like how are we going to get the most? Is this too much? Too obviously Garris, you know, like.
Yeah.
So, but for some people, too obviously Garris is exactly what they want.
Did you find them?
I didn't. I don't know.
They probably already sold.
Yeah. Yeah. No. The ones that are, I'm trying to look over in the corner of things. The rack behind the thing here is what has sold. I heard there was a ninja hoodie yesterday with a vest. Was it with a vest?
It's not with a vest,
Okay.
but there was a full ninja hoodie.
Okay. Yeah. No, that was a really nice.
Yeah.
I don't need it because I have other hoodies that I've already made that are similar.
You're looking
But
at
that
that while
one-
you're saying that. I don't need
I
it.
don't need it. Didn't need it. Somebody else could have it. But yeah, that was kind of a weird. It's weird because of it's got an asymmetrical hem. I've always like. I mean, Ninja hoodie was the sort of initial Ninja product we made.
Yeah.
And so this was like designing something that could go back into that, like revisiting that idea again from a totally different angle. So that was a little bit hard to let go of.
Understandably so.
Someone asked this question yesterday, but wants your version of the answer, and that's, other than the Doom jacket, will there be full-length wool jackets in the future?
Yeah, well, the Doom one, the customs were the only ones that were really full length. Yes, there will be other. It's been a while since a lot of our wool stuff is more mid-length, but that below the knee, big great coat. I've been figuring out what kind of collar to do with that and all this stuff to make it to give it the full gravitas of the length all throughout the product. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a big old wool coat sometime soon.
Showed her one that you made directly for her yesterday.
Yeah.
If you want to go in that direction, I don't think many people would be sad.
What was that? Oh, the Dragon Queen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's getting cold, so she's pulling that out of the closet.
That time of year.
Yep. That, I mean, when that's the one good thing that came out of the last season of Game of Thrones. Was Daenerys' coat.
Coffee cup on the
Oh,
I didn't
yeah,
watch
yeah,
the
yeah,
full
yeah.
thing, but
Yeah.
I did see the coffee cup.
Yeah, that's true. Which they removed later in post. And by post, in this case, it was post release. That was pretty funny. They clearly were like, yeah, let's just get it done.
It was probably like down to the 11th hour, like we just gotta get this done.
Yeah,
You know?
that's the best take. It's got a coffee cup in it. Actually, we didn't even notice it until the internet did.
Yep.
That says you weren't watching. Like the editing team didn't notice. Like at no point down the line somebody noticed that coffee cup.
Their pockets were full and their brains were empty.
Yep. Yeah. That one blew my. That's one of those things that blew my because it's just right there in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone asks, the original wool Virgil jacket is one of my favorite I ever purchased, but it is getting quite dirty over the years. How do you recommend I clean it without destroying it?
Dry clean. It's a wool coat. Dry clean it. Easy. Give me these low ball. These what do you, these slow ones. I can take them no problem.
While we wait too, because we're just over halfway through our broadcast, why don't we just restate why we're here and what Rare Finds are? Today is the second and last day of Rare Finds and Oddities. And
yeah, I'll talk about it. Rare Finds, we started this a few years ago, I think 2020 maybe. And it is an opportunity for us to it's an opportunity for us to sell stuff that we can't sell otherwise. That's the short answer. There's always something fun, some sort of prototype that's sitting around that's not getting any use and that we don't need. And it's more exciting for us to get it out into the world and have somebody have a one-of-a-kind thing than it is for it to sit in the warehouse and do nothing forever. We create jackets because we want to look cool, but also because we want it to be useful. And so for something to sit in our warehouse with no future, it is sort of counter to the entire purpose of the company.
yeah.
So, the Rare Finds are that, and the Oddities are things that didn't quite pass QC, or came back from, or something, or have some sort of damage, or were damaged in transit on the way to a show, or something like that, that we can't put on, that don't match our normal quality standards for our, like, regular price production products, but are still great products that you can wear, and that do have a future. So those are usually on sale, some sort of discount. You were mentioning earlier how you were taken aback a little bit by how the community, there's a community aspect to this. So on the one hand, the Rare Finds and Oddities is sort of a trunk sale. It's a way for us to clear out inventory and clear some space and make a little bit extra money or whatever. Like there is like a sales aspect to this for us, but there is also, I think, the first time we did it and ever since, there's like a community aspect. People are really excited about this. It's really exciting for people to be able to get these one-of-a-kind things or get this thing that they couldn't afford at full price, and they're happy to do have it without the hood or whatever.
Right.
Like
with an extra button on the
or with an extra button or something like that. And so that excitement and the way that people sort of encourage people and get and help each other out to get the things that they want, especially on our Discord server where the conversation is rolling all day. It's really fun, and that's a big part of doing this for us, is having a community that's excited about what we're doing. This excites people, so those are the two really good reasons we like to do Rare Finds and Oddities.
Absolutely. And if anyone hasn't heard and needs to hear, Batches are dropping every other hour. Our last batch dropped at 10. Noon is the next one, 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, and that will be everything up until tomorrow morning, and then we will shut the site down, or at least that collection down, until our next rare finds in April.
Yeah. And we only do this, I mean, the excitement is part of it, but we only do this twice a year, partly to build up a lot of stuff and have it be like, this is a clear time when we can get rid of these extra things. Sometimes, some of our oddities are just like the last two of a jacket. They're completely undamaged. They're normal things like these ones. These are just jackets. But when you have a product on a website, there's this weird thing. If you have a product on a website where almost all the sizes are sold out, it's very hard to sell the last two. You need to get the right person to that page who wants the jacket, who has the money, and their size is in stock. And when there are sizes sold out, that is somehow much harder to do. So that is another opportunity for us to be like, okay, so this is when this is available. We can give it the attention it needs to find that one person, find that Goldilocks person.
Yeah.
Got a follow-up question. Will dry cleaning remove salt stains from salt?
Oh, from like
Snow salt?
Yeah, snow salt. Yeah, probably. I mean, depending on whether or not the dye was removed by the salt, but it will definitely resolve some of that.
And then someone asked, any more Rooks, White Auditory, or older assassin jackets? Also, David should sell me his assassin vest.
I will not sell my assassin vest.
Hoodies are jackets? Or Assassin's Creed at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think we have any more white ones. Except for this recruit hoodie, which is a size 33. That has that sweet little assassin emblem on it.
To my knowledge, that is the absolute last one we have.
Do you think we should keep this? If it's the last one?
Do you have a problem?
You don't think we should keep it?
I will let you ask for them.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to get into it. It's a conversation I don't need to have. I got other battles to fight.
I believe it's sold as well. So.
Okay, it's,
Oh,
fine.
okay.
It's fine anyway, I guess. No take back, Caesar.
Take that.
I was thinking, I'm not going to get into it. Yeah, I'm just looking at this in the mirror, and I really like these inverted Trek jackets. We did ask if we were allowed to sell them as Star Trek jackets, and they were like,
Not at all. So they are not Star Trek jackets.
they're not Star Trek jackets.
No.
They were just a test. We're just trying something different.
Just trying to- Exactly.
Someone asked, what's your favorite jacket that isn't being sold anymore, and why isn't it being made?
That's a funny question. Because, well, it's a funny answer. All of my favorite jackets do not perform. The jackets that I love the most are usually weird, too weird in some way for the general public. My Shinobi jacket, which I think I have in my office, I could go get that. That we haven't had that online for a while. We'll grab it. I'll be right back.
While we're waiting for David, I will push our Discord one more time. Our Discord is a fantastic community, and I know we got a lot of questions yesterday about the marketplace. In our Discord community, we have a Volante marketplace, so if you are someone who has a lot of Volante gear, maybe you're cleaning out your closet, you change sizes, something, you can go and list yours on there for other Volante enthusiasts, if you will, for other people to try to buy it. And we can usually vet if it's actually one of ours or a knockoff. And yeah, go join it.
This is the Shinobi.
Not for sale.
Not for sale.
We'll clarify that, not for sale.
Will not be for sale. we actually made these. This was something that went into production,
Mhm.
and we made a bunch of them. This was pre-Ninja collection, Ninja products. Still has a credit card in there. And what year is this?
Oh, I must have that back.
Special guest. This is 2020. This jacket is from well before 2020. What else do I got in there? That's also from PAX. It's just this pin from a game, and some euros. Not full euros. Not even a full euro, but 90 cents.
We should just have a segment. What's in David's pockets?
Yeah. Yeah, but so the Shinobi is, for me, I've called it my spirit animal, because this was like my first sort of foray into techwear. Techwear being anything that has hanging straps.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, it's obviously Japanese inspired, but has a little bit of an asymmetrical hem. It has a double vent, but only one of them is there. So this like sort of knife edge,
Oh, gotcha.
this knife edge split in the back. And this was the first time we used fidlock buckles. So for me, I feel like it really suits me. I feel awesome when I wear it. I feel awesome if I'm wearing it open or closed, anything like that. But it is a little weird, and somehow I would put this on people and be like, what? I never imagined before we made them that this would look like a bathrobe on anyone. Because it's a canvas coat, it's got really structured shoulders, and on some people it just looked like a bathrobe. And for other people, people loved it. There are people that loved it. I'm not saying there aren't, but it is there's a little bit too much of like my weirdness in it, I think. So this is one of the pieces that I think, I always think like, man, that should have been successful because I love it the most. Which is just a weird thing. I don't know. I forget exactly what the question was, but.
Would you ever jacket that you loved from the past?
Yeah.
And why isn't it being made? So
And
we
why-
covered those.
Yeah, I covered that. Great.
Oh, I'd like to grill you for one of those.
Sure.
The Automata vest.
Oh,
That was the first vest that I had ever tried on at PAX 2017 before I even knew who y'all were,
yep.
and I want it.
You want it? Why don't we make it?
Why don't we make it?
We've made it many times. We even made a new one recently. Not that recently. Probably 2 years ago. Because I don't remember what time it is anymore.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
full vision.
But like all of our women's products, they sold better when we went to conventions, and we
Yeah.
stopped doing that.
That's fair.
Yeah,
There's a couple people claiming to have that jacket and they love it.
great. I mean, I think I don't want to speak ill of it. I swear this is my favorite jacket. If you own it and you love it, great. We're friends. That's true of any of our coats, really.
Yeah.
But this, we have a special connection.
So magnetic buckles.
Yeah, magnetic buckles. It's got a magnetic buckle on the inside. I'll wear it sort of like that, semi-closed, so I can get my inside pocket really easy. I just like how you can wear it and how you can sort of style it. It's really different.
Someone asked, will we ever see the return of the battle vest?
There's no reason we shouldn't. I wanted to make the battle crop. Did that go up? That one might have. That might be still. I might still have dibs on that.
I don't think there's anything battle in the RFOs.
You're safe for now.
Great. I mean, it's not 39. It's a size 35.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, the battle vest it was just the automata vest without the skirt. It's just the top half of that.
Gotcha.
And it's really cool looking. It's really sort of sleek, and it has that ruffled collar. It's cool. I don't know. It wasn't on my radar really, but it could be now.
And always, I would say one thing about just kind of like socials or Discord, we kind kind of said it earlier, we can't always make what people want just because they say, I want this.
Yeah.
But if a lot of you tell us the same thing, we do listen. We're a small team. So.
It's shocking how many products we've made that I also just, we've made so many that they can't all be in the front of my mind.
Right.
And every once in a while somebody asks me about a product and I'm like, oh yeah, we made that. That was cool. You know, like, why don't we do that again? And we might have looked at the data afterward, the sales data afterwards, and said, I don't think we should do that again. And then we look at it 4 years later and we're like, why didn't we do that again? Because the data looks really good from our current lens of how data should look. Like, our understanding of what good sales data is has changed dramatically multiple times over the last several years.
Yeah.
So we continuously go back and like peek at old things and sort of bring them back.
Someone asked, my wife is always very tempted by jackets, but finds the styles to be too utilitarian. She wants something, in her words, elegant in the jacket style. Any ideas of anything like that in the future?
The Dorian? Yeah, but it's also pretty straight cut. The Dragon Queen has definitely got that elegance to it. Could be.
Maybe.
Yeah, there is room for me to completely put my whole brain into a women's line. There isn't room. There is a future in which where I go, okay, we've got the men's stuff down and it's time to expand. But right now we're in a stage of trying to figure out how to really nail. I think we have to really nail what we're doing as a menswear brand, because if I split my focus, we're never going to get one done. But one really good, and we will never have the bandwidth to really effectively target the, so it's just if we split our focus, neither is going to perform as good as it could.
Yeah.
Whereas if we can nail one, we could probably hold that for a while we focus on the other side.
In the words of Ron Swanson, don't half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing.
Yeah. Absolutely right. That sort of nailing one thing. I mean, which is interesting. It's like, is that? I always struggle with that because I'm like, yes, I get it, and also if that is true, maybe we should only make coats. Like maybe we should only make long coats. Like, what does that mean? Should we not make pants and shirts?
Yeah.
Or what is one thing? I can't quite get the one thing to have a really good definition in my mind, because I just don't want to do only one thing.
Right.
So it's a complicated idiom for me to wrap my head around.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm looking at the clock, there are 5 minutes left of the live stream about. If you saw anything on the Rare Finds and Oddities site, of the collection page, if you want us to show it off, let us know. We can absolutely show you more, or if there's something you're looking for, let us know and we can rummage through and see if there's anything that matches that.
Did this go up yet? Now I want to see.
Number 71.
Hold it.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Cool.
It is up.
This one I feel like might not show as well online. But this is the Augment J6A, meaning asymmetrical.
Yeah.
But in a more or less flashy color than the A6A that we made with the patterned material. I made this, when I made the first Augment J6, I made two at the same time. I made one with a straight hem and one with an asymmetrical hem, because I wasn't sure which one I would like. And we ended up deciding as a group that the straight hem was better for whatever reason. So that's what we did. And then later when we looked at the asymmetrical hem, it was like, no, actually, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
And there is room on our site for both. We just couldn't do them both at the same time. So yeah, I think this is a really cool. I think that because it's a little bit more subtle in its color palette, that asymmetrical hem is like, you don't notice it necessarily until you know, like it's not going to stand out really obviously.
Right.
But when you do notice, you go, oh damn, that's cool. That's extra cool.
Yeah.
It was cool to begin with, and now it's even cooler. And the J6 was always designed as a jacket that could be worn with the like our vests, our augment vests. Most of our vests are longer than our short jackets in the front, so you get these two little points.
Yeah.
That hang out underneath, like the hacker or something like that. So this cut and this length is all to sort of accommodate a vest. So when you're wearing it, it's kind of a semi-formal jacket, and then you can wear it open and get a nice flash of vest underneath.
I do like how a lot of our products are made in mind for like, on its own, it looks great. Paired, it looks great. And
Yep.
it kind of, that fit, that cohesion
Yep.
happens with
Yep.
a lot of those too.
Yeah, I'm trying, my current mind is, I'm currently working on design. So I'm a little bit, not ahead, I wouldn't say I'm ahead, but my brain is split between stuff that still needs to be done for the rest of 2025 and also what looks like beyond that. And I'm looking at trying to push that cohesion even further than we've done in the past. I want to make a lot of cool stuff that goes together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
a whole that goes together in different ways.
Right.
It's not quite modular, but it's a modular outfit. It's just an outfit. That's just an outfit at that point.
Yeah. Just whatever. But it's really good because you're giving people options.
Yeah.
And, you know, with, now we're talking pants, now
Yeah.
we're talking jackets and vests and shirts. You know, it's a universe.
Yeah.
You're kind of building that universe where people can pick and choose based on their taste.
Yeah, and we could have a vest and then two totally different jackets that are designed to go with that vest, but
Yep.
are completely different in silhouette.
Mhm.
So that is something that I'm trying to think about. It's like, how could I do, if this is your base layer, how can I make things that are designed to fit with that, but also not, like the next tier up in the tree is they're not designed to fit together,
Right.
but they are to fit down. You know,
Yeah.
like that's a complex problem and one that I'm very excited to get into.
Let's see. Would the 41M Junin fit someone who usually gets 43 for the shoulders?
Well, the shoulders maybe. If you usually fit a 43 and it's snug, then a 41 is not going to fit you.
Yeah.
Especially in the Jonin, because the Jonin does not have, it doesn't really have any stretch. It's like, you know, it's like a 100% cotton, so it has a little bit of a natural stretch, but nothing, you know, has no elastic to it. Yeah. It's not very forgiving.
Yeah.
Someone asked if we would do a bash jacket, like Trigun.
Stampede, you
Yeah.
call it? Yeah. Original or reboot? Because the reboot is, for what it's worth, the reboot is basically the Red Nero.
Mm.
It's almost the same.
I like how you pulled the Uno reverse card and just
Yeah.
put it back on them.
I'll answer your question with a question. The original would be very complex in terms of a jacket. It's like the Beast Hunter, or it's like the Helsing. But yeah, no, that would be very hard. There are a few out there that exist. Probably most of them are probably not lined. That sort of stuff. They're built to be old dusters. I've seen them out there. I don't know if they still exist. It's been a little while since the original series came out. I think that series came out in 1995. Yeah. Don't have an answer. It is a sick jacket. Both are sick. The original Vash's jacket is kind of that sort of dark wear, tech wear thing where it's got the hangy straps, it's got a duster, it's got a like it's multi-genre in its fashion sense. It's cool. That's
All
time.
right. Yeah, I think that is it for now. David, thank you so much for coming on the live stream
Yeah, my pleasure.
this morning. If you haven't heard, of course, Emily will be with me back at 3 o'clock 3 p.m. Eastern this afternoon. We will have 3 more drops left, noon, 2, and 4. And then that will be it for the rare finds.
So
Time.
the next one is in just under an hour?
Yep.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you. We will see you later.